Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about, as usual, about Ethereum and Bitcoin. So as usual, today is like day 13. Like yeah, we're gonna talk about, as usual, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Going to talk about like specifically about everything what's happening in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So first of all, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and yeah, there's a lot of things happening in Bitcoin. Like price action shouldn't be a surprise, and we are dealing here with anti-diagonal structure. I already seen that bullish. I think we're bullish generally on the Bitcoin chart, but first of all, I think still we need to complete this correction to the downside, which got incredibly choppy. So that is not a problem. It just means that we have to expect further borrowing price action, but at least it means that the move to the downside it is slow, it highly corrective. Exactly, that is what we meant to see and want to explain a few things in the live. I also want to answer a couple of questions because I had a question about. So take a look to the chart downside. Shouldn't the price action be instead positive instead of just this whatever? Is the sideways means maybe we start first. We're talking a look over wave count. So we're going to we can see that. So whenever it is sideways, mass, and maybe we start first we're talking a look all over the wave count. Then we take a look at the lower degree wave structure. We still have the idea that it is not loading, but where the 5-way move to the upside here, there, and you go the 5-way move up of the 15 of the on John, low to the 13 July, higher is expected, and it reached on target. So it did exactly what we wanted in the move to the upside, and now it is doing what we want in the move to the downside. Of course, it would be nice to have a clear three-way move instead of such a choppy mat, but it is not necessarily a problem because we are just like slow motion. We are grinding our wave down as we're looking our wave here. So you can see right here, basically here at 26,000 to the 28. In this move down, we are dealing with a structure that wave is a five-way move, and the C wave is an ending diagonal. Okay, so we have a wave down, we have a B wave which is shallow, and then the down is extremely choppy, and not necessarily a problem. As I said, the wave down is ending diagonal because it is too choppy for an impulse. So you need to understand there are two ways how a wave can unfold. Both are five wave. So one. So let's say this is a wave down, exactly what we see here, and sketch out here would be an ideal impulse. Nice five wave move. Yeah, five wave in wave 1 and 3 wave. So as far as that, you have a much more shallow, also in five wave, but much more shallow of time. This allow the price to create nice, um, yeah, to the create nice divergence, nice bullish divergence, and different here is each of the wave. So it is a three-way move. Wave 1 is a ascending here, but the wave 3 is a well ABC. So it shouldn't we are not too far off, okay, because the bulls are getting stronger. You see that even today we broke above potential wedge pattern. Now I don't consider that a sustained break to the upside, but the both are there, okay. So it is fully in control, which is exactly both are three, okay. So it is not like the bears are full in control, which is exactly what we want. We don't want the bears to be at control. We rather want the bull to be there, to be lurking in the shadow, and to take the opportunity, because we want this yellow box to be. We want this bull wave rally. At the moment, I have not put in the microcon actually. And idea, at least, always dangerous to go that much into the micro degree. But in this wave, we have a five-way move down on wave 2 and down. Then wave 3 is currently unfolding. Most likely, the wave 4 come and the wave 5 will come. I'm watching on the area around 8.3 as nice as key support. It goes down below that. We are looking at 27,000. Yeah, but it is all still in the yellow box. So at the moment, I have no evidence that this move up So sorry that this is moved down. It is over, and I have added a potential micro count here. So that we talk about the idea that a wave or the third wave is done. The wave is resistant, okay. We push higher, we can actually extend it, but you never know that we are in the wave again. The C wave is a five wave move up, and it look like this C wave. So I know it can be difficult, but I know a lot of people want to understand exactly where we are, and I can tell you this is difficult to know at every stage. Right, especially if you go into the micro count, but still I want to give you my best view. So it looks like the C wave or the third wave here is again an ending diagonal, because we have got three waves down. I have got three waves up, and we got rejected just now. Could be that we are not next coming down in the third wave of the C wave, then the fourth, and then the fifth. That we complete the C wave of third. I know this can complete. And if you're not fully familiar with wave, it might confuse you completely. I know that a lot of you here like to understand the micro count and just need to understand that the C wave doesn't need to be in pause. It can be ending diagonal, which is very choppy. If something is diagonal, you have to expect the wave count to change. So especially on the lower time frame, and don't see this is a fixed thing. I don't think, okay, you know that the next few days we'll definitely get out of 3, definitely we go out 4 or 5, then the larger 4, it doesn't need to go. Especially if we deal with diagonal, we have expect this situation change quickly, mostly reach trend reversal. If you highlight it, can turn around at any point. I'm just not very evident at this stage that it is doing. That's why I still expect lower price. Alright, this is about the Bitcoin. And so we're going to take a look to the Ethereum. So you guys, first of all, we're going to talk about Ethereum news, what is happening in Ethereum, and how the price is going on. So the market continually resilient, very subtle, and it doesn't really want to go down much further. Of course, it is coming down, but it is only coming down in slow motion. We have many crypto which are coming down in slow motion, and a few crypto which are moving up in slow motion. HRP dip, move up a little, and in slow motion today Ethereum is coming down. That is not expected. That exactly what we want to see. We want to see 5 wave up or the 15th of John. So yeah, did that we saw that now 3 pullback to the downside in the ABC structure, and what I count as wave 2. So we had wave 1 to the upside. Now we are dealing with the wave 2 to the downside, yellow support. So the chart, it is a trend reversal area in which I expect the price to turn around between 70.30 and 1875. So now we are already reached at the 1875 level. Then the idea will primarily in a wave 2 price will go at least 55th level, but that already as soon as we hit the 1875 level, we can see a reaction, but ideally in a wave 2, I say that very often. In a wave 2, I want to see at least the 50 retracement. Say that very often. I want to see at least 350 retracement to have a reliable wave. To that level is like 1828, so I would fully expect price to get there, but nothing is guaranteed, right? I mean, you need to understand that in a yellow, in about can around at any point. We already missed the target by $7 to $8. I can tell you that a price can turn around at any point. I just don't have any evidence for it. Stage, I will expect the wave rally to stop very, very shortly. I mean, okay, if I say very shortly, it can still take a week or 2. So in this corrected pattern, before we finally turn around, it is very hard to say how long sometimes take an elite wave. It is not time-based system. It is purely price-based system and doesn't give you any indication. And as to how long does the wave take it, and take as long as it takes to get the relevant point. Yeah. So from that point of view, we just need more patience. Unfortunately, it's coming down. I know it is boring, but it's going in the direction that we wanted to. We wanted to come down today. We had a little bit rally, but nothing that broke above resistance. I see 8088. I also we have got the descending trend line, which is also acting as a resistance. And overall, I think we are in this C wave or wave 2, which is currently playing out as an ending diagonal. The next wave down should be a C wave of a wave 3. Then we should get a wave from 4 and a wave 5. I'm looking generally in this area between 8030 and 7080. So once we find out support in region, there should be a third wave rally to the upside. The third wave rally should take us to 25,000 plugs. It is good to see price come down in very corrective action because it means that the bears are not fully in control here. If they were, then it will potentially also indicate that there could be anything is possible, but there could be a break support, and 7030 is the key support level here against which we can focus on higher that level. Break then the alternative trend is likely playing out, but until that, the focus is on higher, very short. 10 price will still come down because the elite wave count seemed a little incomplete on the lower time frame, on the lower degree, but generally I did what I needed to do. Just bear in mind that the 8030 level is also an area of structural support. We had a lot of support here around 8030 level, and yeah, it is a support level as we have 8030. So yeah, we need to be more patient. Unfortunately, or still patient. It is the way how the crypto market move. Like you can see that boring is the boring price action for weeks, and suddenly we have nobody watching. The price is going to move up in a very volatile way, or generally to move up necessarily, but the price is going to move generally quite quickly. Then it will crash. It will catch a lot of people who haven't taken their position while the market was slow. And that is just how it is a crypto. Yeah, with nothing for weeks, and within 2 days your portfolio can double. Yeah, okay, maybe you can even break down, but you know what I mean. It is either moving in a very very slow and a sloppy correction in an impulse, and the impulse are very fast rapid. With the correction, they can take a long time. Yeah, there is not much more to add. I can rarely tell you anything more. It is interesting. I just think that weekend will be boring again. Unfortunately, even today was boring. Yesterday was boring about the Ethereum prices. So more interesting. Hopefully next week we can wrap this correction. But the weekend is typically slow because always happy for a surprise. Absolutely, but yeah, the weekend is slow. And it's just one last took here into the micro degree. Again, it seems like this is the third way it is unfolding. It can rule out it this way. Maybe it is unfolding as triangle, but ultimately, price should follow through the downside. I have to the chain my new above 1906. So yeah, that is about Ethereum. What is happening? So let's talk about Bitcoin. Now about the chart, what is happening at Bitcoin and what gonna happen. So I don't know about which direction, but it's going to affect trade. It is going to affect bonds worldwide, and many people think it will affect market about worldwide. Okay, so this is what it looks in the bond. Uh, so it is spiking. Okay, and it's, of this weekend, its spike is not good. So into foreign market, okay, so sound like they weren't just purchasing bonds of Japan, but also of many other countries, including the U.S. and in Canada, in France. It is stuff, right? So I don't know what this is all mean, but very complicated. But it look like that it is not a good thing. It seems like Japan may have pumped trillion into the market in their own economy, right, to try to make things better. But obviously, it hasn't worked out that well, and they need to change. Now people are very afraid whatever they announce because again, it is the morning, it is the ready whatever the announce can bring massive the global market, and with that there is gonna be a volatility, and many people think that Bitcoin, while it is going to get volatile for Bitcoin because in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general are sensitive to change in global liquidity condition according to this article. Okay, so we'll see what happened tomorrow right now, and like Bitcoin hasn't moved up, it's not like Bitcoin tanking anything, it's not like the entire market cap. So tomorrow is, so it doesn't seem like it's that concerning at this point where everyone will be selling off bad. I definitely feel like today turned around was because people were afraid and that something may happen, right? And maybe whatever Japan announced, maybe it is not as bad as it. So I don't know. As people, we don't know, right? Well, what we don't know is this Japan, they got some smart people over there, okay? So hopefully, they are not just called crash their own economy and crash the whole worldwide. And so I'm assuming they have a plan, okay? Hopefully, a pretty good plan that is not gonna disrupt the recovery of every country on this planet, and hopefully, can all continue moving forward. That all we could. So, what happened today? So we will see. We will see. But you know what do I always say to you guys? Besides short term volatility, short term geopolitics, short term a macro factor that may slow down Bitcoin or may cause some distribution or may even cause some panic selling. But overall, it does not care Bitcoin program buying code, and it will continue move forward and onward and upward. Okay, so just to remind you, Bitcoin we're about 81 in this current having progress. So we're getting closer and closer, and Bitcoin doesn't have care anything about short term because long term it is scarcity as access only go to get more scarce. Demand keeps going up, and that is quite simply. If you know supply and demand, and supply is a dimension, demand is increasing and will be. So as when we move forward, that's why the prices always goes up. We are higher highs and higher low. So on the short term, there are always when you zoom out, like it doesn't seem like there's a lot of volatility. Although there is sometime for years, sometime month, okay, but every single time we got through it and we are feeling a new high, and many people feel like this next high will be really high, okay. Morgan Creek think 30,000 by 2028, 300,000 by 2028. So they are saying that having been afterward, okay, but many people like 2024 and 2025, Bitcoin will be easily at $250,000. Tim Draper thinks so. KD will also think so. She thinks by turning 30, Bitcoin will be at 1.5 million dollar. These guys, and of course Michael Saylor, that believe Bitcoin will be in the trillion in the future, right? So you got a lot of smart people that definitely what's going on, and they are buying and holding. So forget all the big boy like BlackRock and the BlackRock. So they are all following it as well because they know what is the future. They don't want to miss more, and then today it turned out this investment banking company TD went okay. So also think the same thing. We believe Bitcoin could ultimately represent superior store or value related to all form of money. So right, they are not the only one. Everything, not just crypto, not just Bitcoin. Every single class took uh, realize that inflation is a real thing over printing money. It is a real thing. Distract in bank, government are a real thing. That is why you need something that not controlled by anyone, not any entity, not a country, not a central bank. That the Bitcoin, more and more people are realizing. So more and more people are coming. People are using Bitcoin network. So transfer volume has reached 110, a trillion continue to move forward. So great things happening, great things are coming soon. So we'll get past this together, no matter what Japan does on the Fed, does anyone else on the major strip market. We'll get past this, or yeah, outside of Bitcoin. You know, this month this is probably pretty bullish HRP, but in Gary Glanzer, we're pressed again. Today we are an interview whether or not he got to be appealed HRB security ruling, and he just dodged that question. You know, you will figure he want to be will indicate there will be a seriously thinking in wave. So we are in the process. If you didn't say anything of those, just basically dodge. I have said before, I theorize I didn't think SEC is going to appeal They already spent 3.5 years trying to make this happen. It didn't happen. So what else are they going to do? Hint and email have so transmissional has already been leaked, which was something that they tried very hard to show, but it did not release. So I don't know the. Plus, I don't think they have the money or resource anyone. That's why another 70 million or something, because they spend all their money. They have a ton of their other losers. So I think this is pretty big. I don't think he's going to appeal. Very probably I'm gonna settle with a Ripple. So if we settle with Binance to go settle with everything, so other chains are too young, or Polygon is being up and teaming up with Banger really exploded, tokenized, sex. I love Polygon, and they are continuing. So it's going ad is coming out, and the mutable which make their own chain, analyzing and their major partner is Polygon. Okay, so Immutable X also seem like they are really good sport, and also main coins seem like they like in a good spot too. Social backs around main coin are rising. I don't know why a coin is kind of in there, because it is really not a main coin, but sheep and dogs getting more exciting, more volume. Okay, so people are searching then in a lot more, and let's not forget the newest coin. You still have a whales loading up on that, thinking that they will go much higher in this next year. New parabolic run, maybe like maybe right, and then lastly, a lot of people made a big facts about this U.S. Department of Justice dropped all campaign finance change against. So who were looking the property. He seemed pretty awkward. So we're gonna talk about the Bitcoin chart now. Important resistance. You can see right there, important resistance, and currently is bouncing from important support, which I talk about in the later live. So definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving up the this is the 13 days, or I've been telling about Bitcoin chart and Ethereum recording this live price. Bitcoin is obviously within a short-term pullback, which they being said the price, the current short-term pullback, obviously we're still technically within a much larger bullish trend here on the 4-day, 13-day time of, I'm sorry, a weekday time frame. We clearly see that Bitcoin is still forming a significant higher lows and higher high here on the larger time frame. And top of that, if you're looking at the super trend indicator, right now it is obviously still sitting in the green, indicating a much larger bullish trend at play, which has been the case since around the beginning of this year, as I have been saying almost every day since the beginning of the year of the live. And in case you're wondering, prior invalidation for this larger bullish trend based on the super trend indicator, it is also sitting around 25, which is basically mean if we've seen a strong confirm break below then 25,000, which ideally weekly candle does well below 25, so back below this previous low. In that case, not only would confirm a near low or the larger fray, which will be also confirmly indicating basically flipping. So at our trend reversal signal, we are when you're talking about the larger trend at play. So once again, 25K will be the invitation for the larger bullish trend. So while the price of Bitcoin is still holding about 25K, technically we are looking much more bullish than bearish when you're talking about the larger trend at play. But obviously on smaller time frame, that does change, because we can see on the time frame, on the daily time frame, the divergence is still currently playing out, which is basically mean we should not really expecting much, a lot of bullish momentum, at least in the shorter term, here on the usually bearish divergence. So on the daily time frame, less from around 1 or 2 weeks. So before they potentially begin to fade away on average, and as of right now, this bearish divergence has been playing out for nearly 2 weeks, which means sometime soon, potentially, which within the next 1 week or so, we could see this bearish divergence begin to wear off, meaning a possible bounce back to the upside or a break in the RSI, for example. But until then, obviously, this bearish divergence is still currently active, and in order to invalidate this bearish divergence on the daily time frame, we would need to use an ideally fray breakout in the RSI. The descending line of the resistance, and also ideally come higher and lower and higher high beginning from either RSI or the price action, or in both order to actually begin to invalidate the previous bearish divergence. But once again, even though we do currently have a bearish divergence active on the daily time frame, this doesn't necessarily mean the larger the multi-month, the longer the bullish trend. So it is over, because obviously we have seen multiple bearish and divergent throughout. The larger bullish trend, and usually that just means we are due to see a bit of a pause or a setback or correction or during the larger trend, because obviously we can see shorter term bearish trend or shorter term correction within a larger bullish trend. So essentially, right now we're looking more bearish than bearish, bullish than bearish. So in terms that longer trend, technically speaking, but once again, in shorter term, we are looking more bearish than bullish, at least for now, and this is also backed up by the daily Bitcoin MAC, which is still looking more bearish than bullish. So, which once again, it is pointing toward a little bit of a correction currently. So, playing out as expected, and now if you're looking at the level of support here on the 1-day chart, Bitcoin chart, taking a look at the Fibonacci retracement tool from swing low to the swing high, we have the 30.38.2 Fibonacci level of support sitting at around 28.9k. Okay, approximately which is the level of support to pay attention to. But if we actually saw a confirmed break back below 28.9, then in that case we'll likely see a drop down towards around like 28,000 or 28.1k, which is the 50 retracement level, and shorter retracement. So we have the important golden pocket here. So we had the important golden pocket here. So supposedly in between $27,000 to 27.2k, and it's for the shorter term and resistance. So as for resistance, we could find some more resistance right here at 30,000 approximately, if we see a continued bounce in the short term. And so now, just before looking at some other important Bitcoin and Ethereum chart, just quickly reminding you that the world you can also invest at this right time. So our previous technical pattern and this technical price target and that invitation price is sitting at around 29.7k, which basically means that if we saw a back break about 29.7k with confirmation, like for example, so confirming that level as new support, then in that case we'll actually invalidate this previous pattern and invalidate this technical price target. Now even in this scenario, it is worth pointing out that we still have resistance to the upside. For example, this is the level of resistance sitting at around 30.3k or 30.4k. And also that 29.7k level could act as a short-term resistance before we see any breakout to the outside. And to know, if you zoom into the much smaller time frame, taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart here right now at the time or during this live, the price of Bitcoin is currently running into a bit short-term resistance, which was a previous ascending line or support. Right now, this previous ascending line or support, which is acting as a new resistance, currently sitting at around 29.3. So just keep in mind we do have a bit of short-term resistance around that. So but if actually we saw a confirmed breakout back above, like back above like 29.3k, then in that case it will become very likely that the price will essentially return up toward this high, which are sitting at around 29.5k. So it's been around 29.5k to 29.6k, and that is also because of a possible double bottom pattern that we have here on that 1 hour chart or 4 hour chart. Once again, if we confirm a break above 29.3, then that could set a technical price target. So that is for a double pattern at around 29.5k. But once again, it's important to obviously that the price is targeted back to the upside does come into play until we at least confirm a breakup above this initial level resistance. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum. This live is the only Day13 to US dollar chart, and right now the price of Ethereum is still trading in between. So this area of support and this ascending the line of resistance, which first of all the line of resistance is sitting in at around 1.9k, which was previous support. This area of support is sitting around between 70.70 to 80.20. And as for the daily Ethereum, the price escalator right now, these are still looking relatively neutral, not overly bullish or overly bearish, because right now the RSI is basically chopping at around sideways. So it basically means that we didn't really have a strong direction, have a short term. So we should not really expecting a significant movement on the chart at least anytime soon. And interest, like I have been saying over the last few, relatively mild price action, most likely some choppy sideways action or potentially a slight pullback, kind of like what we have seen over the last one or last week ago. So expected a smaller time frame looking at the 8 hour Ethereum to US dollar. Either once again broke below previous ascending line on support, which is acting as a new resistance at around 1.9k to 90 and 10. So basically, even we see a continued bounce in the short term, expecting resistance at around 1.9k and 1910. Standard chart looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool, which swing high to swing low. We had the 50 retracement level acting as a support in 1830 approximately. That the level in that case, we have the important golden pocket area support sitting in between short time resistance. So right now, as I recover this video, this live, the Ethereum running into the previous resistance. So sitting at around 1970 and 1880, but if we saw a confirmed break back above 1880, then in that case we could find some resistance once again around 1.9k to 1910, and above that level some resistance into the much shorter term, taking a look to the US dollar chart. In this slide, the price of this currently holding above the ascending, currently sitting at around 1860. So at least in the shorter term, there once again 1860 in the initial level of you profit if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, and sibling chopping. So a lot of things happening in Ethereum and Bitcoin, but for Ethereum it is going as usual, and it was a boring. So back to the Bitcoin again. I have not finished what I am talking about. So second to the break-in this pattern, Bitcoin is flexion are a signal this unchecked action to see. So first of all, taking a look at the Bitcoin chart again, this chart right here now on the line. So Bitcoin is moved all at once a chance, then we could see a spike in this indicator, or if it doesn't, amount of Bitcoin that has moved in many, that can also cause a larger spike in the indicator. Is actually we see a large spike in this supply adjustment day. So destroy indicator in this happened just before a volatility move in the US turning Bitcoin and the price of action. So basically over time where we have seen a spike, so we have seen a bunch of very price action and just before we about to see even more bullish price action, because for example you're taking, we saw back in 2020 December, obviously that major bullish ran into the late 2020, entering into early 2021. So then obviously we saw a day during many 2021, and this indicator just bottom out of the crash. So obviously started the next major, the upside, and obviously we enter into the 2022 bear market. Even during the market, or we had time period, we did actually some shorter time bullish price action. For example 2022, that was a bullish quarter deposit. It is coming with a larger bear market and the beginning of the bullish movement right there in Q1 the 2022. Obviously a massive spike, which indicator it is very interesting. We saw something very similar to what around June 2022. Once again, that was still technically see some bullish price action once next 4 or month after we saw a spike in the indicator, and by the indicator, that indicator with a value support. If your next spike in this indicator where we're above the happening during November 2022 button, and so obviously in the month we saw a lot more bullish price action after the signal, and next time the signal was finished end of the March, so entering into the April this year if you look time frame. But this is why there's some burp color you can see. We are in a bit sideways convolution, but no longer signal flash. We actually saw one more descent pump into the upside before on ascending or a bit. Once again, right now the same signal flash with a value above, just like all of these other time. And so it's historically speaking to see optional month or so, but it is important to understand that there is a shorter time we're going to see bullish price action on the next 24 hours, for example. Instead, it's mostly talking about the much larger market into some important Bitcoin, Ethereum. So here, very divergent, currently playing out and some I've been saying almost every day. So basically mean we have normally expecting a lot of bullish trend in the at least in the short term to see either bit of move sideways and pull back. You're looking about the short term occurring a much larger bullish trend. As for the daily Bitcoin MAC, technically speaking, this is the currently looking more bearish than bullish. Just showing a lot of momentum, which basically have a strong direction here on the chart. So we're likely going to see price action, nothing significant. And now, if you zoom into the smaller Bitcoin chart, so we're just saying that around so right here the price of $27,000 is zoom into the shorter term. So Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, this previous bear flag pattern is currently active with a price target sitting at around 28,500. But once again, it is important to understand that between the current price and the time, this live is obviously target. This is obviously that's the level of support at around 28.9k. And also, if this short-term bout continue back above this level, sitting at around 219.7k, break back above the actually invalidate this flag pattern and invalidate price target, as well as some other find a bit of resistance at around that 39.7k and above that. If we actually invalidate this pattern, which finds something more resistant right around here at about 30.3k to 30.4k. And now if you zoom into the 1 hour Bitcoin chart, according to this slide, the price of Bitcoin is currently upcoming possible right now. We have already confirmed a multiple high lows and higher high, and the chart will why also confirm it is obviously this is Bitcoin essentially entering a range eventually lead to a break, either has support level, resistance level, if you, in case the level of support sitting at around 29.1k and the level of resistance is sitting at around 90.95k. Basically, I've seen a form resistance. The level of resistance and the technical target is 29.2k. So we see a confirmed break below that. That is a technical problem what is happening right there. I promise you to see either way we are. Right now, none of these technical price targets are currently in plan. We have a higher prices going on. So momentum once again just in the 10. But anyway, now get into the Ethereum part. We're going to talk about Ethereum for now. So the important thing around support sitting in between 70.70 to 80.20. As for the daily Ethereum price oscillator, these are still looking very neutral. Showing a 10. So much again recently on the channel, we're likely going to see relatively mild price action, most likely some choppy sideways price action because we don't exactly have a turn base on the price oscillator. So if you zoom in a shorter time, trading below this previous ascending line of support, which is a new resistance, which is currently sitting at around. So even if we don't mind continue a short-term bounce expect a resistance close to 9010. The time frame of Fibonacci level, we do this a Fibonacci level acting as a bit of short-term resistance, sitting at around in 8020 to 8080. But if we break out above 8080, we also have resistance. Also have a resistance around 9030. If this short-term pullback continue, then the level of support we should be watching at first of all is 50 retracement level, sitting at around 8030. But if we saw it break below that level, then we have the important golden pocket of support in between at around 7060 and 7070. And if you zoom in into the 2-hour Ethereum to US dollar chart, right now it is forming a pattern just like Bitcoin, but for the price of significant line of resistance, because we have many more touch points along this line. You're wondering, this line of resistance is sitting around 8072 and 8080. Fibonacci level is currently sitting at around 9060 or so. Obviously, the price either trading in a very tight range right now, and in fact we will continue this pattern. We only have around 1 or 2 days go before the price of each oscillator befalls either the resistance or break support, and even if we see a confirmed break level of resistance that is just mentioned, that will set up a technical price target around 9030 to 9040. But the little breakdown below will convert technical price target close to the 1.8k. So either way, we are looking at around 3% move in the price of each. If we first either confirm a break below this support or above this resistance, any other want to know how to maximize profit in crypto, no matter break out to the upside, the world little much longer. So for now, we're going to talk about Bitcoin news, what is happening in the Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin. So, right here in the Bitcoin or 4-hour chart, the previous bear flag pattern currently active with a bearish price target at around 28,500. But remember, between the current price at the price target at around 28,500, we also have that Fibonacci level support at around 28.9k, and it is also important to know that invalidation level or previous technical pattern. So technical price target and invalidation price is sitting at around 29.7, which is basically mean if we saw a breakback above 29.7k confirmation, like for example close back above the confirming that level is new support, then in that case that will actually invalidate the previous pattern and invalidate the technical price target. So now even in this pointing out that we still have a resistance to the upside, for example this level of resistance sitting at around 30.3k to 30.4k, and also that 29.7k leave could also as a short-term resistance. So before we say to the upside, and now you into the zooming much lower time frame to the 3-hour time frame. Bitcoin is currently in a big short-term resistance, which was a previous ascending line on support. Right now, this is previous ascending line on which is acting as a resistance sitting at around 29.3k. So just keep in mind, we do have a bit of short-term resistance at around conferring a breakback about 29.3k. So like the price will essentially return to this right, sitting at around 29.5k to 29.6k double pattern that we have here on the 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart. Once again, if we could break above 29.3k, then set up a technical price target this double bottom pattern at around 29.5k. But once again, it is important to understand that obviously the price target back to the upside does not into a play until we are break above. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part, we're going to talk Ethereum again. So trading in between this area of support, this is ascending line of resistance which finished all of the line. Resistance is sitting at around 1.9k, which was previous support, and this area support is sitting at between 70 to the 8020. So as of the daily Ethereum price oscillator right now, that is looking relatively neutral, not overly bullish over bearish, because right now the RSI is basically chopping at around sideways, which the MAC is showing at the very low momentum on the daily time frame, which basically mean we don't really have a strong direction here in the shorter term. So we should not try really be expecting a significant movement on the chart, at least anytime soon. I've been saying over the last day, we're likely going to see a relatively mild price action, most likely some choppy sideways. The price as potentially a slight pullback, what we've seen over the last 1 or week expected. So it is slightly smaller time frame. Looking at the 4 hour chart, the price of either once again broke previous ascending line on support. I think that's a new resistance sitting at around 1.9k and 1910. Even if we continue bounce here in the short term, expect resistance 1.9k to the 1910, and now just staying on the Fibonacci retracement tool from swing low to swing high. We have the 50 retracement acting as a support sitting at around, if we saw a strong break below that level, that in that case we had the important golden pocket support sitting in between around 7060 to 7070. As for the shorter time resistance, right now as I will record during this live video, the price of Ethereum is running into the previous level, which is acting as a resistance sitting around 8070 to 8080. But if I saw a confirmed break above 8080, then in that case we could find some resistance once again to at around 1.9k to 1910. Above that level also we have some resistance at around 1930. So now if you can see in the time frame term taking the US dollar chart in this slide, the price are currently holding above this ascending line of support, which right now currently sitting around 8060. So at least in the shorter term here, once again 8060 is initial level or support to pay attention to. Now if you want to do your profit in the crypto, no matter price is going to the upside to the downside, always the shorter term, make sure to So you can see right here, there's a lot of Bitcoin and prices. How the prices are going high and going low and changing. Bitcoin growing in the crypto, there is a world which is really cool. In the bear market, usually in the viewer, down viewer are just awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Really, truly appreciate it. So into this, that on the bits, you can see right there, we have a in Bitcoin. There's a lot of things happening. So I can say that. I mean, we know it is coming. Just we know around the con or understand well, and there's a few people in the line. I think the first one is getting to get a wood, caddy wood, so invest, and the other one, so grayscale want to see this fair gameplay, so everybody getting in the same thing. So this is the really cool, in my opinion. Now this is very huge news. This is right here. Actually, today we saw the PCE, and it is absolutely stacking. So our forecast actually was 3.1 all the way to the 3.8 because it came at a 3.0. So this is basically just 1% away from the target inflection of Fed, which is absolutely incredible. So we are just 1% away, but certainly code is a bit more important, and code obviously was 4.6 forecast. So 4.2 came 1.4. So this is again proved today that inflation is cooling. So this is very good. I mean, that is why the makers are still at least going to the downside, and at least are not dumping. So this is positive. But again, I'm going to show you just a second to what could spell some trouble for the market. So this is the 4.1. So latest according to this, we are going to go before that. I think the Fed, even if they gonna break a hike, another 25 basis points going to be about. Now we have got to pay attention to PPI. We have already seen PPI back at 0. Now what really care about is CPI is going to becoming a next UH. So it is coming. It is already 3.0. So the same as PCE, just now the only thing that core CPI. So getting down closer to the 4 and 3, the subsequent close the target rate of the Fed without breaking anything, and now in the topic of breaking stuff, and when it comes to economy itself, it is still very well. I'm surprised honestly that the US economy is doing so well because our employee it is still low. So it is still the same level if you're going to take a look at the graph. So 2.4 rate, the second quarter, the post of the rejection call, which I mean it is surprising to me, but let's be honest, I'm very happy about this. And the next thing I really wanted to show you is this right here, which is the actually had a drop rejection forecast. So the interest rate on anything, so I don't think this is a fear for the market. I'm intent of the hiking much more rate at which inflation is going down, is going good enough. So I said that inflation reacted enough, and this is good. But interest rate at the current level of plus 25 basis point in September. So yeah, and this is the only worry. But besides this is being the only worry, that what else another worry. So today we have talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum, what is happening and how the price is going up, going down. If you want to try, this is the time. So you can see right here on the Bitcoin Ethereum, the price is going. Thank you for watching, guys. Today live is over. We have talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum, how the price is going on, and what is happening. So thank you for watching my live. I'll be back in the tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up to the like.